money, then you could make money to or I guess really great music, then it may appeal to less people, right?
Not necessarily. That's not necessarily what I say.
Okay.
But there's some truth in that though too.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is, if you want to make great music, or what you consider great music, then you or just any kind of art, you have to also be okay with it not being profitable.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that it won't be, and that doesn't mean that you should be like, damn, I didn't make it. But if it's good to you and nobody else thinks it's good, is it no longer good? She sent a text, but I ain't even read it. It was mostly just advice, and I ain't think I need it. But it was a part that actually stuck with me, and as I thought about it more, it started to fuck with me. It said, tell me how you really feel. Then I thought about it. But you don't really feel. I fear hashtags and number signs. They gave my boy a sentence plus an underline. I got a God complex they undermine. I'd rather be a king with a concubine than a lady who just want to be a fucking queen and just a friend to my son and I. Ugh. Cold-blooded, but them hoes love it. They know I'm just the type anemic. Never ask me how I feel. I'm the type to mean it. When I fucking said it, I know how to play it. Way too much intellect and way too much introspect. Picture me righteous, that's the disconnect. I'm kind of ratchet, they not into that.
Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy Orange is Media, and I'm here with
Jus'Black, the kid, your baby most fake fat word thinks you wish you be. So you mad yourself, you're not mad at me, aka the young sex symbol.
All of that.
It's more, but I'll keep it short.
It's more. I appreciate that. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate that. That's what's up. So yeah, for anybody that doesn't know who you are, which is very few people, tell people, you know what I'm saying, give them a little overview of who you are, what you're about, what your mission is, and all of that good stuff.
My name's Jeremy. My mom named me Jeremy. I grew up in a neighborhood, they call me Jus'Black. It's ventured out to Jus'Black. And I don't have a mission, man. Jay-Z said my religion is to be, so my religion is to be. Shakespeare said to be or not to be. That's the question. So I'm just here being, because we just humans being. And I like to have conversations. I like to have a good time. I like to smile, make other people smile, make people think. If I could do both at the same time, that's great. So that's really all it is.
Definitely. What really brought me to ask you to be on the platform today was, I've known you for quite some time. You know how social media is. It's like you know people, but you don't really get a chance to have one-on-ones with them. You make really thought-provoking Facebook statuses, and you also have a podcast as well. And I was actually on your podcast before. And you have recently just started a YouTube as well. Can you kind of take me down that journey from, going from social media to the podcast world to the YouTube world, just that whole journey?
Yeah. So I guess it started with social media a long time ago. Like I said, me and we've been back and forth running around for a long time since Spoken Word Revolution. That's like 12 years ago.
Has it been that long?
Yeah, that's wild. I was talking to Blue about that too.
Oh man.
But yeah, just being around, because I'm a poet at heart. You know what I mean? So he was like, we gonna do a 16 at the beginning. And I'm like, man, that's light work. I can do that. A lot of people don't know that because I kind of ventured away from that. But I started on social media and it started doing these going to spoken word events and following myself through that. And then I started doing it was like a podcast before a podcast, but it was basically like on a Haitian radio station where we had it was the only English speaking station. I'm not Haitian, but it's the only speaking station. I mean, a speaking show that was on there. It was like a talk show, and we just kind of talked and had a good time. And then I kind of got bit with the bug from that to do radio. And then there's this DJ tandem that came from West Palm Beach. You ever heard of song Peanut Butter Jelly?
Yeah, Peanut Butter.
So Peanut Butter Jelly.
Yeah.
DJ Raylo and Pup. Pup used to be signed to Trick Daddy's record label. They came up. They made the Peanut Butter Jelly song, and they kind of like very influential like underground DJs in Orlando, in Florida, in West Palm Beach, South Florida, and that kind of thing. They came up and they did a radio station here. It was a full on terrestrial radio station that broadcast, and they broadcast in West Palm Beach, so in 9 stations, 30 cities in Florida. And so once the Haitian show fell apart, or we just stopped doing it for whatever reason. I won't get into that. It was nothing between us, but with the station collapsed. And some people that I met doing that show was like, "Hey man, you ever heard of these guys?" And I'm like, "Hell yeah, I know, because I'm in tune with that." And I found myself. It was like, "Hey, you want to do you want to work for them and sell advertising spots?" I'm like, "I want to be on air. I'm on air. I'm an on air guy." And it was like, "Man, I don't know that. I don't know if you could do that." And fast forward, long story short, I found myself on air every night, and they had like a syndicated hip hop show that people listen to. And so I found myself as a personality on there. And then when that went away, because it's politics and that, I found myself doing a podcast with my partner D-Rug. D-Rug is he was a contributor to Tom and Dan's podcast, and he's a local rap legend. Like, yeah, songs on the radio for the first time when Orlando wasn't doing that 15 years ago. So we started doing a podcast called the Arrogant Asshole Podcast. Mm-hmm. And it was basically us having, basically we were interviewing our friends at first, just people who had done stuff in Orlando, you know, Granddaddy South and West Fifth and Tony Boy and all these people who had groundwork in making music and had a name in the city, and we just interviewed them. Mm-hmm. And we had a unique approach to it, because D-Rug, not only is he was a rapper, he was also one of the first people to do internet interviews, and people don't know that. So he was one of the first people to do interviews that were on YouTube and internet. He interviewed every rapper that you could think of, from Plies to Lil Duval and to whoever was hot at the time in that. So he has a chops to interview people, and he's a comedian. And then I have the chops to interview people, and I'm on our talent, and I do a lot of stuff. You put a mic in my hand, I can pretty much probably do it, right? Mm-hmm. And so it was entertaining, it was funny, it was unorthodox, it were asked outrageous questions, but it was like an in-depth interview. So people were like, "Damn, these guys, we never saw this before." So this is what people were breaking into doing podcasts. People didn't even know what podcasts were, and we were green, and we didn't really know the business of it. Like, we just 5 years later, we just learning how to do the business part of it.
Yeah.
But we got the notoriety where we kind of know the people you should know if you want to make music, or if you want to do entertainment, or if you want to be a creative, more so than, I guess, the viewing public know us. But it's like more about relationships.
Yeah. That's what's up. I think you guys' chemistry on the Arrogant Assholes podcast was so incredible. Like, what made you even come up with that name, and does that actually describe the both of you?
Well, so I came up with the name because I wanted a name that would grab you, for one, and then I wanted it to because, like I said, I'm a poet at heart, so I wanted it to have a lot of meanings. So so arrogant is just the arrogance to be yourself. Mm-hmm. And sometimes when you unapologetically yourself, you people view you or call you an asshole, right? So because you to have the confidence to just be who you are when you're at home, you know, like the weird shit you do when you're at home, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Being able to be that in public it takes a level of not give a fuckness.
Right.
That people would attribute to being an asshole. So it was a catchy name, and it was a name that meant something, and then it also kind of sets the groundwork for when people come do interviews, because a lot with artists and people who aspire to be artists, they're not good at giving public interviews, no matter who they are. Like, they could be a public speaker, but when you sit one-on-one, you asking them questions, they don't know how to serve and volley. So that kind of like lets your guard down at the beginning, because we just having a good time, and then I can ask you whatever, and so I kind of got to develop like a name for asking people whatever, like whatever it is that people wanted to know. I was able to ask. So like if I had Chris Johnson, the football player, on, and his best friend who's a rapper, people maybe don't know, and it was a thing where Chris Johnson got shot behind, I can ask that question because we have relaxed the conversation. It's not an interrogation. We're having fun.
Yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. So we have a lot of mutual friends that are in the music industry here in Orlando, who have gone off to go and do incredible things. And I'm pretty sure you have a good outlook on just the Orlando music scene. What is your view of just artists here in Orlando, what it takes for them to grow, city support, and maybe just the work that the artists have to do, for themselves, and maybe even just some advice just from you on the outside looking in.
The funny thing about Orlando, it's a lot of politics that are in the play with Orlando. See, sorry, no,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of politics. So I think it's important. And whenever I say this, people are like, "Well, it's like that everywhere." I can only speak about the land I know, and it's important that for you to have a why on why you're doing music, and it can even be because I want to make money. Mm-hmm. Actually, I prefer if your why is because I want to make money, that you tell me this because I want to make money, because then I'll show you how to make money.
Yeah,
and not be famous. Or if you just, I want to be famous, I always want to be, okay, I can show you how to be famous. It may not necessarily translate into you making money. So you have to be honest. And so it's important that you have a why and that you understand the why. Then you know what work you need to do. Because Orlando is not a place that's going to make you famous. It just isn't. We just don't have the culture. We don't have the infrastructure where people, we don't have that want to be cutting edge. Mm-hmm. The people who consume it don't care about having a culture. Mm-hmm. We just want whatever side. So the people who have made it, the people who have quote unquote made it or signed major label deals or that you know of, on the rap end, there's like Hot Boy and Pootie and Glock 9. These kids, I met them as kids. Mm-hmm. I interviewed them. I had them on the radio. And they grew their audience from making the music that a broad audience will want to hear.
Okay. And
so it's important that if you want to be famous outside of Orlando, if you want to have success outside of Orlando, it's important that you make the kind of music, or you present the music that you do make to an audience broader than Orlando. So it could be some Orlando shit. But you have to be on the internet. You have to be with the bloggers, and that's important, because that's the people who consume your music in the marketplace, like in streaming and e-commerce and that kind of stuff. They are online. Yeah, they are like hipsters and techies, and it's not the people who give you head nods in the club. Yeah, it's not the people who stamp you as being cool. The people who listen to your music, the people who buy your music, consume your music, buy your merchandise. Yeah. All these things that generate commerce or income for yourself, they are on the internet. They are reading what the blogs are saying. They are on Instagram, and they care about what the Shade Room is saying. Yeah. So you have to appeal to these people. You have to appeal to those people. Depending on what you want. If you want to make great music, yeah, and you don't care who listens to it, then make great music. Yeah. But if you want to make great music and you also want to sell it, you have to sell it to people who are buying. So often, like, especially I know people. Can I disagree with you? Sure. And use you as an example? Sure. While disagreeing with you, you said something in regards to you have to make a certain type of music to be able to appeal to a certain type of people if you want to make money off of it. Sure. And you said if you just want to just make money, then you could make money to or I guess really great music, then it may appeal to less people, right? Not necessarily. That's not necessarily what I say. Okay. But there's some truth in that though too. Okay. But what I'm saying is, if you want to make great music, or what you consider great music, then you or just any kind of art, you have to also be okay with it not being profitable. Yeah. That doesn't mean that it won't be, and that doesn't mean that you should be like, damn, I didn't make it. But if it's good to you and nobody else thinks it's good, is it no longer good? Absolutely. I mean, it's absolutely still good. Now, are you speaking in regards to just being in Orlando or just in general? I think in general, because you have to, if whenever you're selling something, you have to know how it sells. Mm-hmm. If we now we're in a climate of like selling music, and the way that you sell it is in a roundabout way. It's like you're getting pennies on the dollars on streams, which whatever people agree with it, people don't agree with it. But you're also people who also make a lucrative living. They also make money off of how you've always made money off music, ticket sales, merchandise, that kind of stuff. Because it used to be where people wanted to like sign a major record deal. That was their main thing. I want to sign a major record deal. And the job of a major record company was always to make you famous, and then you're able to monetize your fame.
Yeah.
Not much has changed, right? So if you want to be famous, then by all means be famous.